We got 6 hours left, just under 6 hours left this week. It's the end of the month, and it's a big deal. And if you're into the 4 hour chart and you're an Elliottician, you're going to have to claim this is wave 4, because wave 3 is the biggest wave, which was my trend as we exploded out. So here's the proof that I sold here. So you have to prove the theory, you know. So here's what I'm doing is putting the sell limits up here in advance and going to sleep. Last all day long. We didn't fill up into here, but we filled the top of that. Came back. So the black ones I know are limit grids, so I know they must have been high probability those were sell limits up there because they were above the price. So I did make those black. That is the difference in the arrow color. If I could get a better view of this. There's a lot of tickets in there. That is true. So let's try to zoom into reality. Because we're only trying to make 20 pips, 30 pips. I set my targets. It's very ungreedy. I'll risk 50 to make 20, so I'm giving it plenty of room. I'm risking $5 to make $2, which is better than any lottery game. So I see these guys buying lottery tickets, and I just want to say, have you thought about placing orders in the market? Like, the probability that if the market does a deep dive below here, it may be a place to buy. It's crazy. This has to have occurred to people at some point. And I'm actually going to chase the market here. I got some goober buy stops into the close. So this big sell-off here that just happened, a lot of people would be freaked out by this, especially if you were up on this trade from back here. And let's imagine you're a trend trader and your signal gives you the holy grail entry here, and it's also a double bottom, and you load the wagon here. Okay, I gotcha. We load the wagon here. Even the breakout traders are getting filled here. Everybody's getting in here. What's really cause and effect relationship is this hole. This is the creek. In Wyckoff theory, you're going to jump that creek. Well, you don't jump it. You come back. Turns out there's a creek within a creek. High probability of retesting this doji, this indecision, this noise. This noise band is retested. If you're prone to buy these areas because you've seen in the past that is the place to sell into, you're selling into that hole. And I understand that you think that this trade is a losing trade, but it's not if you know how to adjust for volatility. The bad ratio, if you're selling here and you do not get stopped out, you have a 15 pip stop, you could have made 8 pips. Right? If you're the guy selling into the breakout traders winning trade, they're winning on the 30-minute chart, right? Until they get trapped up here in this one wick inside here is I almost guarantee you there's a triple top on the 1 minute inside of this fucking wick. You don't need to go to the 1 minute chart and the 5 minute chart. Just imagine, let's just say, yeah, she's out of her mind. She's got family issues. What's the chance? Then when the market goes below this floor here, what's the chance this is a fake move? So that was the top of the hour. Now, top of the hour trades, you're not going to overtrade the account. Somebody asked me about the, trading. Hey, listen, I'm just come up with a style of trading. Do you trade at the market? Do you trade on stops? Or do you trade on limits? If you trade on limits, you're kind of a risky trader considered to be because you're putting orders in no man's land. If you're entering on stops, you're supposedly a little more mainstream confirmation. This is how this guy has 90,000 views, this no-nonsense guy. People don't want to hear about getting stopped out. They don't want to hear about none of that. So here I'm actually trading this account with the scripts I wrote. And this morning, or this Asian session here, I stacked up many a ticket, but I had like 30 pip and 50 pip stops built into this, don't forget. So when we exploded out of here last night, I picked up another $1,000. Almost exclusively single drops, although I am in on some hairy tickets with wide swings commingled into this account right now. So if I go by size, I know these are daily single drops, or they were drops that only lasted 2 hours. And if I really cared, I would turn on the comments and I would hunt down, okay, this is actually a 6, supposedly a H6 buy limit. Now I wrote the comments differently here, which is a lot of work. If you were to make sure that this was the real comment for that thing, yeah, you could probably sell the script, and otherwise you're just on your own. I'm not going to claim that is a 6-hour script and let somebody drive that car, realizing there's no first gear. Here you go, buddy, thanks. I also can't sell that car if it's that fucked up, and that's why I don't sell anything. But you can see what's going on, I hope. And if you're handy and you like to write, and all I did was edit the code. It says comment. If you can't find the word code inside a comment, the word comment inside of the code, then maybe, okay, it's too much, but you hire somebody. Get the kid down the street. Also, when I turn on the comments, unfortunately, it takes off my take profit and my stops flashing. I cannot get, in this resolution, I cannot get that. So for me to see the colors flicker, I'm assuming, and I kind of know my palette of risk. Now here I'm about to take profits. And that's just a 1K, and it's only going to make 20 pips. That's going to be $2. But 10 of those is $20. If I go for my most profitable, currently floating, right, I'm up 12. I'm about to cash out. I could get out. Now I know these are daily drops that are from my 10 pip grid. Because when I see the size like this, I say, you know what? I know exactly where that came from. And yes, if you trade bigger, you'll make more money. And these are precise. Somebody asked about, what are you doing for stops? Okay, well, I'm doing 500 different orders, if I'm lucky, on one instrument. So I'm able to have the swing trades commingled with the scalps. I have 2-hour manual drop, 2-hour, 4-hour, 8-hour, 6-hour, 12-hour dailies. I can see I want to put the daily orders 100 pips north or south, 200 pips north or south on the guppy, with a grid 10 pips apart, last like the whole week. Because believe it or not, regardless of the pattern that shows up during this price, it's just not going to matter. That is a set it and forget it, dumb shit entry. So the world of people that want to drive a car that has real-time gauges like indicators is a different world than the guy that built the car, and it's a structure sitting out there for somebody to go and put the body on. So you're either inside the structure trading it, and it's a 2-hour a day job maybe. You show up every 8 hours, every 12 hours, 12-hour drops, okay? If you're recovering, no nonsense Forex person, okay? Just get used to the idea of being underwater. And this thing about drawdowns the guy talks about, this is psychological. Like, some people can handle getting crushed and they wouldn't think anything of it. Other people are like, I can't believe I'm losing on this fucking thing. If you're worried about blowing up the account, you maybe don't want to trade, or you want to put $100 in there and say, like, can I trade with a 3K? You'd have to trade with a 3K. Really good. And then when it got to $200, you're trading with a 6K. Like, what is your risk? And if you're just going to trade raw numbers, I'm risking $10 a drop. I mean, I get my brain around that real quick. I mean, that's under, actually I have the $5 drops in there too. So if you're really cheap, the $5 drops take more skill because now you're asking for like, well, you've taken the size down. So you're going to trade with a 1K and a 50 pip stop. Whereas if you go to the $10 drops, you're actually going to trade with 2K with a 25 pip stop. So that the dollar risk, you're in the coin, when you go to Vegas, the big coin machines pay out more. And that's also, my batting average could be really bad, but if I really know where the hot spots are, the zones, the kill zones, they're just zones. There's no fucking way you are getting this order precisely loaded. And if you are, please make the video of your 500 standard lot entry with a 10 pip stop. Okay, you have to get kicked out of that trade, come back in. Now you could write a back test, and this guy that wants me to talk about his videos, a no nonsense guy. People love him to death. He's got 0 thumbs down, and he wants me to comment on his video. Well, the red and blue thing, I'd actually have to run my monitor in black and white because that red blue thing, when I see that, I just want to die. It's red. We should sell. I get the fact that you're getting in late with confirmation, but you got to be able to see the zones, the kill zone, to pick up some more money there. I'm just saying, if you want to make a lot of money, if you want to make money without babysitting the market. So if you want to look at the indicators unfold and you don't want to see real-time gauges like I'm doing 100 miles an hour. Now, at the end of the racetrack, okay, I am measuring the track, though. I'm saying in 8 hours, where we at? 12 hours, where we at? At the end of the day, where we at? And it's like, can I contour my trade plan to fit the current volatility? Can I scalp around my swing? Can I fade my own trade? Can I not feel like I'm missing out because I'm so good at getting in and out of the market that it doesn't even occur to me that's like a fear of missing out on breathing? Hopefully you're going to breathe all day long. You're not really going to think about each breath, but the amount of carefulness that people approach this like, oh, I only risk 5, I got rules about it, okay, great. Well, maybe you're not a high risk guy, or maybe you're not you're either risking your ego of being right or you're risking your wallet, right? And so if it works, if a 10 pip stop works on the demo, and maybe there's more slippage on a real count, so it's 11 pip stop, it's $11 a risk, or $12 a drop. If you drop those to last all day long, you need 24 bars to fill your ticket. If it's a limit, that's 100 pips away, say, either above or below you. How do you feel about placing those tickets? Now, if you ask somebody who's never fucking traded, they go, what are you talking about? How do I feel? Dude, I'm putting this ticket. Now, if you've ever gotten trapped in a violent move against you, you may never, ever be able to trade like that again. And you're going to be one of these no-nonsense guys that goes, well, I built an algorithm to protect me from that. I have like a car that's, dude, it's a fucking self-driving car. I got that, but don't forget the train goes from Grand Canyon to the water to, some cornfield. And don't forget, in the cornfield, people are doing 90 and 0 miles an hour, and they're going in reverse at like 50. You really, that kind of chaos coming at you, you're going to tell me that your indicators, that you basically put a filter on the world. I get it. It's like Polaroid glasses. You're going to try to get rid of the glare. So you're looking through the louvers, but you're missing, once the lights go, once the thing goes the other way, the volatility kicks up. You're using a 14 period ATR. You're like the last. I get that you're making money. Supposedly. If that's true, you just fucking write a robot for that dumb shit thing. But if you can't see these voids, which I don't think the robots are looking at the voids, and actually I don't think the robot's saying, okay, we didn't get filled in those tickets, should we place more? So what kind of robot could come in and say, woof, we got to dial this down, it's getting quiet, we got to run our quiet trade plans, we got to run our tight stops. We got to run our maybe big orders, tight stops. It looks like an obvious kind of As the end of the week comes here, and maybe there is a final follow through kind of right back to the starting gate of the upper or lower range or the middle of the road. We end up just dead in the water at the middle after a violent news session comes out and goes smashing up, smashing down, and we sit there just dead in the water. Right? There's all sorts of scenarios, but if your rule of thumb is at the end of the week, when I'm just going to close this shit out and go flat at the end of the day, or take profits as we price pulse into the end of the day, scale out, and kind of just unravel it and just accept that these momentum spikes are a wonderful thing and a bad thing, because it could turn around on a dime like a rabid dog and come smashing back and hunt and come after you. And it would feel like that, certainly if you're in really big and you haven't taken profits and you're looking at the bigger picture because you've already scalped and made money, but now you're thinking, ooh, this is okay, if every trade's unique and every trade you take has a different risk. Now, I know that people put in the 5% of their account, but the structure should be telling you where it's going to get ugly. And then you backward engineer it from there, because once you discover that window, you have scalps you can layer in those zones and just walk away. These are like little minefields of tickets in a particular spot. They could last all week because that's a void that's always going to look good. Presupposing you can handle the first fill, which will be bad. If you're buying a plunge, if you're catching a falling knife with 58K, hopefully you've only committed to 10K on the first, say, 50 pips, and the other tickets are so deep that you have maybe you're at 50% of that probability of that getting filled. Then you have your, what is it doing every day? Are we dripping down? Are we ready for, the British pound just took off. After it dripped down, it's just like a ticking time bomb. I see people want to put indicators on to call that out and say this and that, but then you're going to lose real estate because you got an indicator below you, unless it's going to be right on the chart, which my 4-period and 3-period cloud system, which just is variations on how to smooth the moving average. Yes, you could trade the cloud thing, but you're going to have to be on the 4-hour chart or the daily chart and say, yeah, on the daily. Another thing, the no-nonsense Forex people, I've got a better thing than all your confirmation shit. Just put a goddamn 3-period moving average on and go to the daily chart and just trade in the direction of the 3-period moving average. My God, man. Just get in and get on it. This 20 baseline, dude, you are so far from reality. You are so far from reality. Seriously, play the market back with a 3-period simple moving average on the daily chart, and I hope you can trade that. You could even take off and just run, instead of a line chart, run a 3-period or 2-period moving average line chart. You'd be surprised. There's tops become bottoms. You can see when there's no volatility, which means no volume, no ATR, it's happening right in front of you, bar by bar. You don't need to go 3 stories deep to see if you're going to put a 55-period moving average on your 4-hour chart. You have to ask yourself, are you going to be in the market for 40 days or 4 hours? Are you going to be in the market for 10 hours? Or 20 hours? Are you looking at this sweet spot that sets up for an 80-pip move? And all right, yes, you can do that. And are you going to write a robot that maybe scans for that? Okay. But that robot's going to be incompatible with a 300 pip per hour move if the markets come unwrapped for some reason. And I love how the no-nonsense guy says, well, lately the markets haven't really Like when this guy Kelvin said to me, man, like, these aren't the markets like they used to be. Like, the markets are shit. They're noisy. Dude, you just don't have a trade plan for noise. And 80% of the market's bullshit. It's ranging. This is wave 4 on the 4-hour dollar yen for the final completion to 108. We've been to 108. And we ricocheted off the floor and stuff, came back, and it's like this momentum stuff. And my answer was to fix the pips. Fix that fucking grid. Decide how many pips you're trying to make. Are you on the daily chart? So here's the proof of all my trades. Right there, all the arrows I've dropped. Here was some buy limits. These are beautiful trades. There's proof. 1 hour. See these drops? There you go. People say, I don't get what you're doing. Now, if these lasted all day, they filled. These did not. So what happened? I put my orders in, buy limits all the way down. The lower rack did not fill. Some of these are buy stops though. So as the market's drifting down and dicking around, I'm putting in confirmation goober buy stops here. I start with $5,000. Almost $18,000, and I'm barely trading it. I'm only using $1,300 in margin, so I backed way down. I'm just barely trading. It's obvious completion to this move. We went through 108. We went screaming through 108. I got out. I went flat. Okay. The whole week, in retrospect, and I called the trades out in advance. You can see by the fucking tickets. I don't know what more fucking proof people need about placing your orders in advance of price action to come. I marked the fucking shit off. Nobody can handle a drawdown, apparently. They can't scale into this shit. Here, all these tickets. Every fucking hour I'm dropping this shit. Here, no fill. Wasted my time here, but these are daily drops and they're still pending. We ain't going to get there. This is the end of the week. Now I can get out right now and I will be up. Let's start with $5,000. I'm at 18,000, go flat right now. On the 15-minute chart, I could actually just get out. And I did get out earlier here. Before this plunge, I got out because I knew we were in the seller's window. I had a hunch because I actually could see this fucking area. This is the Williams fractal here, right? We all know the Williams fractal. You can turn the fucking thing on if you need to. You don't need to have all this bullshit on your screen. I just don't get that. I mean, I get it. I was there. Okay, I used to be a member of Scientology. I know how it is. Go to insert. And this is if you've never traded in your life and you don't have a bad feeling about Bill Williams indicator, insert indicators. Go to Bill Williams. Go to fractals. And I made mine white. This is the fractal we're looking to break out. But this is also the trap. So I think I said in the other video that if you went long here, the stop here, that you're going to say you are up on that trade and you're still up on that trade right now. Because you put your stop down here because maybe that was 5% of your account. I get it. I'm not fucking retarded, dude. But there's so many fucking ways to make money on what's happened during this 1 hour chart, just from the standpoint of the fucking 1 hour chart, from the perspective of this fractal. Right. The no nonsense Forex guy says, yeah, percent R ain't working good on the higher time frames. Dude, that's because the settings and the time frame are so critical to this indicator bullshit. If you use a 2-period RSI, a 2-period percent R, a 2-period ATR, you're going to get in and out in the market, and you will be buying and selling and buying and selling. It's fucking obvious. We're not that retarded, dude. If I put a 55 period moving average on here, it's going to tell me to only buy on dips. And you can claim you made money, but once you discover the Williams fractal entry where you're buying everything below here just because it goes so fucking deep. This is the creek. This is the hallway. I don't give a fuck what you call it. This could be ICT's dick. I don't care what you call it, dude. You gotta have the balls to put your fucking tickets in there. And when the market gets quiet, it's telling you, oh, I think we're gonna keep, it's a low risk. I can run a tight stop. Can't you see you can run a tighter stop when the market's quiet? Get in, sell with a tight stop. Here, big secret to trading. I'm gonna give away the holy grail. Market's barely fucking moving. Get the fuck in with a tight stop. Look at the fucking explosion. But don't forget to look fucking left so you got your limits placed in here to buy. Yes, you could sell into that. But if you didn't get the fuck out, dude, you're break even right now. How you like that trade? Well, I'm in the larger time frame selling mode. I'm not stupid. I understand. Dude, this has all have occurred to me many times over. What never occurred to me is that I could place fucking tickets down there and not give a fuck. Oh, you're making money and you don't give a fuck. You're one of those guys. I don't give a fuck. If I blow up the account, somebody, oh, you blew up account on the... Yeah, right, dude. I could sit there and trade this like a fucking little old lady and risk $1,000 a margin all week long and make $3,000 a week on this account. It's fucking obvious. I got pending sell limits I'm even running. Look at this. But I can't go... I could go from currency to currency, but I'm going to get on the monthlies, all right? I'm not going to babysit this shit. I would have bought this whole fucking Williams. It doesn't show up as a Williams fractal, and this is the problem I have with Williams fractals. This is a fractal to me. I call this a simpleton fractal. I only need fucking 3 bars, dude. We just got a fractal, see? Because we got a head and shoulders. That's my shoulder, that's my head, that's my shoulder. This is a shoulder, head, shoulder. But this is also a shoulder, head, shoulder, or this is a triple bottom. But this is the head and shoulders. Yes, I'm getting into reversals. I'm calling out the fractal in advance. I'm saying if we go below here, I want to get in, and I'm just going to bet that this is a curve, and that now we're going to sell like unbelievable here for the scalp back to here because we already know the exit. We know the exit in advance. It's stupid. Well, I don't know. I kind of like I'm kind of attached to my 20 period EMA, and it is making we're both in the same trade. Why are you fighting with me? Okay. I got it. Like, I hate to say this is I'm not stupid show. I think this has completed its mission of drift, the painful trend drift trade. And in 4-hour chart, it's exquisitely stupid entry. I was running the 3% R here. After I saw No Nonsense put it up, I thought, well, obviously 3 period's going to be the obvious way to use it. And we're going to use it against the line chart. I'm going to fatten it up here. Yeah, we're not stupid, okay? But No Nonsense guy's like, okay, people, are you sitting down for this? And the fact that he's like, if you ask me one more question, I'm going to dox you. Okay, No Nonsense Forex guy. Hey, he's serious. Did you hear how mad he was? Let me show No Nonsense a continuation entry with a percent R3. This is the Williams. This is the Andrew Cardwell positive reversal in a downtrend on the daily Australian dollar with a 3 period percent R Williams. Here's the magic. You're looking for it to be higher in a 2 to 5 period, and I'm counting this as period 0. 0, 1. I mean, if you're into indicators, this is for you. That is a 2 period negative reversal in Cardwell reversal terms in Connie Brown. And why? Because we have that inversion of momentum, and here it's volatility apparently. I don't know what percent R is based on, but when I see it, I don't deny it. I can see the same thing in the histogram of MACD, so that is also the place to trade MACD. I don't know why you're stacking another fucking indicator on. One indicator should be enough for any man, and I have the 3 period stochastics at the bottom for the oversold, overbought theory of life, which it works out beautifully. And you can tell me all day long, this no-nonsense bozo who comes up and goes, well, you sold here and you lost. Yeah, but I sold here and I won, okay? Well, this is actually kind of late, but if I sold at the crossover, he would do a dumb shit entry like, you sold the crossover here and you lost. Okay, but I sold here and I won, and then I closed out the trade here, and I'm not going to win every trade, right? Well, we're saving ourselves from getting into these kind of trades. Can't you see what I'm saying? Okay, well, that's when you're running the buy stops. When it's low ATR on the daily, there's got to be a trade plan for this. I'm not going to sit on the sidelines like a fuck waiting for this to come down here to be oversold. I'm going to accumulate in here, and maybe I do have a couple, but I'm going to load the fucking wagon during this phase. I'm going to build a position in here. And I'm staring at this vacuum going, holy shit. And I buy that last dip, and I'm also buying the stop hunt for the early birds. Don't forget, this is a trend for people. As soon as we get a higher low and close, in closing prices, we get a higher low. In a 1, 2, 3 period, this is Elliott wave. This is 0 wave, 1, 2, 3. 4 consolidation, 5. That's the only way you could have counted that. And the only way to clean up Elliott wave is to assume this is wave 4 or wave 2. Anytime you see a doji, it's either 4 or 2. He also had, no nonsense, has the tankin' wankin' running behind with this RSI. Dude, you've overfiltered the fuck out of this. It reminds me of a guy that has so much fucking delay on his guitar that, dude, that is the last song we played amount of delay. Are you kidding me? You're playing the last fucking song. Are you retarded? Look at this beautiful divergence in the, I just popped out at me. Hard divergence. Now, Williams divergence is literally happening here. It is not like RSI where you get a double peak. Look at the bend against this. That is divergence. Oh, no nonsense Forex guy. I hope he's watching. Let me learn him what divergence is. It's when the price is going, the oscillator is going against price. That's called divergence. And that causes a sell-off, but you don't quite get the, like here you might get a Andrew Cardwell RSI reversal where this is more oversold at a higher price than here, and you get that beautiful pullback in momentum. And you don't really get it here. This is the continuation entry. As soon as it closes up there, you've got to get the fuck in at the market, and he does get in at the end of the day. Just get in anytime that this is actually above. So as long as percent R on the 3 periods above, I would start building a position to the south side. Every moment this is above, right? The RSI, this peak is above the other one. Let me just isolate the situation here. I'm going to fix the scale and stretch this out so it'll be makes sense to how much money we're actually risking on this trade. So this would be a situation where you could run confirmation entry, or you just wait for the confirmation that we close up into that and price is actually lower, and then you're going to pull the trigger on this trade. That is your only confirmation. And you're actually going to do a no-nonsense entry there because you're going to sell when it's down. And that is the thing is, if you do that trade, In other words, there's going to be more trades in this indicator because the sensitivity of it. This is a perfectly valid entry in that way. Also, if you can kind of see the hidden, another, I guess if you want to force the math here, but not really, is that I'm kind of going outside the realm of using a double top. But the math between these 2 points, this is more oversold. This is more down while the price is higher, right? Or am I just distorting that? I'm wishing that to be true. Another thing, you can end up wishing stuff to happen too. You can get carried away. But this here, if we compare these two momentum pieces, I wish it would just stay in that mode. Okay, I got to scooch that over, but it is qualify as more oversold at a higher price. In RSI, in the percent R3 period, it is so sensitive, right, that it's critical to the way that looks. I have to move it forward, and I can't get the fucking move. Okay, one chunk. Okay, so there you go. That would be a 1, 2, 3 period positive reversal, and this is what Andrew Cardwell calls playing above the rim. So you are gone. This is your only chance to really load up. And it's also the point at which you're stepping into this giant cavern, and you're going to see quite a gust of wind there. You're going to make some quick and dirty pips there. And you're getting in before, because it's a leading indicator of momentum. So this is kind of unique. This top here where it bends, I'm noticing that. Now, if you do back test this kind of visually, kind of just, do it. This is kind of a double bottom, and this is not really divergence. I'm looking for another divergent point here. I'm trying to just do my best. Oh, here. So there's a cell I was talking about where it's a hard really pull away, and that's because the volatility here. In other words, it's not just that the market's moving, it's how much it moved. That is inside of percent R. Because it looks like RSI, you can use that kind of rule set. Here is so after we see in the Andrew Cardwell entrances, when we see an entrance like this, we know that's probably wave 4. This is the last of the Mohican sellers, and we're looking for divergence next. And that we get a 2-period divergence here. 0 is here, 1, 2. On close, boom, you're in. But look at the washout, right? So that's why, in the end, this was always a good place to get in. But if you need to see divergence there, you may not see it. But if No Nonsense can't see divergence, it just shows you how he can't vertically think. He can't see the correlation between, and maybe because he's using candlesticks. You cannot see this shit with candlesticks. And with bar charts, really, you can't see divergence either. I have never, the day that I decided to put the line chart to sync, I'm going to put the 3-period RSI so you can see what I'm looking at here. The relative vigor, and these guys are running relative absolute vigor. Like, dude, you need help. So here's a confluence or a confirmation. We have divergence in closing prices at this top. RSI, the most hated or the most beat up by. I just don't understand how No Nonsense can't understand that this piece of wood that he has in his basement that his grandpa left him is a 1958 Les Paul. Like, well, dude, it was like, music just kind of modern. People are hip-hopping now, I know, but it'll still make tone. Like the Stradivariuses are how much money? What kind of fucking logic is it? Well, that's an old instrument you're playing. You imagine going to the symphony with No Nonsense. He'd be like, Mr. Conductor, dude, they have Les Pauls. You're playing a violin? Look at this guy. F-holes. F-hole trader. So this is really in tribute to No Nonsense. The divergence, RSI, and the divergence inside of, which is even more glorious, I suppose, because Williams is very sensitive indicator. It's based on the volatility, once again. And we could use the RSI to babysit ourselves through, and if we wanted to go pure, another thing I would do, because, you don't get the, I swear to God, now this is going to show you how I did go there on the indicator highway. I really did. I'm going to prove it right now. When I tell you this, that I actually had it so that I was trying to build an algorithm that said, well, I'll just use this as my price, the RSI, and I'll use this as an indicator against that indicator down there. Fuck the price, right? And I would put the 3-period, I'd put my major indicator on top, RSI. That's price for me. Like, if I'm selling this is a failure swing in RSI, how cannot you see divergence? Okay, because you don't run a line chart. You're never run RSI unless you have a line chart, because you're never going to see the divergence. I won't say never, because you can claim divergence off these wicks, but that's not what's causing the math of the fucking RSI. Okay, the RSI can't see that price. Has that ever occurred to the no nonsense guy? Look how dramatic this divergence is. So, and why does it bend here? Because it's pushing, but it's not pushing as hard. This is not as big a leap. And the range has changed. It's dried up. I think that range is involved in it. It just drives me crazy. So this is like price. It's just like price. There is not a signal to get in. The only chance to get aboard is this. So it's more sensitive. 3-period %R. Maybe I'll just call the video 3-period %R. No nonsense %R. No red and blue, please. Just say no to red and blue. Like, it almost speaks to me saying, I'm a moron. I call it the moron template. It's like, do I need my balance to turn red to know I'm underwater? I guess. And I had run flashing red accounts with real money many a time. And I'm like, really? But dude, can't you see it's going to retrace? That's when I decided to scalp around and go, you know what? There's a lot of little baby trades we can make while the market's getting ready to do what the fuck it always does. It's either going to continue or it's going to reverse. So do I have a reverse trade plan? Do I have a continuation plan? So if you're a continuation trader, also you could make rules like, well, you know what? If this is oversold, I'm just going to buy. Ever think of that? Let's backtest that. And this guy that appealed for me to go after him, and he had laugh out loud, so he's got no thumbs down. It's so adorable. But I guess he's being polite. I'm not. This really would have been a nice RSI entry. I mean, RSI signal here if we could just get... And if I run a 2-period RSI, you would see an entry right here. But what if we just went with good old, you know what? We're kind of oversold. We got a top becoming a bottom in RSI. Let's just get the fuck in. Now this is the momentum inside the momentum. This is the using this top bottom theory with the top becoming a bottom because you're trending. RSI is trending. If RSI is strong, it means we're in an uptrend. And yes, this is when you're buying. This is why people are saying RSI doesn't work, because it's going up and people are saying to sell, but there are people that are buying into that because it shows it's strong. So for them, they're riding it. But the ride's over here, people. This ride ain't going so good. The price is going up, but the rate of change has changed. And this is very sensitive. And this is your only sell signal, where this one you sold early. So if you're a no-nonsense recovering addict, think of it this way. If you're going to go to Indicatorville, do it like this. You've got plenty on your table here. If you're going to filter your entries to, oh, I need this to be down to get in, or I need this to be up to get in. Imagine your filters like this. Well, mine would be like this. It would be the different entry of that guy. I'm not going to do capture confirmation, right? I'm not going to get, oh yeah, I'm on the pill. It's fine. We're going to be fine. I'm going to do dual confirmation, but I'm going to say like this. If I'm going to try to sell rallies over bought conditions in what I perceive to be a downtrend, and we're not done filling this big cavern, like I see this being filled, how can I get on the short train and justify it? Then I would take every sell. And at the end of this period, because it also is a divergent point, I would sell here. But if I sold every overbought in RSI, I think it's going to go down. So I sell here because it's overbought. And I think, well, here's a failure swing. The percent R3 is keeping me out of that trade. Right? It's keeping you out of that trade. If you're going to, or keeping me out, because I'm waiting for this inversion. Right? This is the reversal. See? More oversold, prices higher. That's the bulls are riding that, right? That little flick there is enough. That little thing to me, I can see it's happening. Then we close at a new high at the end of the day, and it's okay for me to sell because I always sell when we're overdone. But here I got in too early. See, on the southern trades I'm in too early, but the northern trades. Here is the trend continuation. So I don't know if this is. I'm trying to simplify this down to the 3 fractal. Instead of going to this 5 fractal or a 20 EMA, I'm just talking about this last gasp here is the example of more oversold, or that includes the range there. It's drifting down, and this is riding with price. So this is a timestamp of close only. This includes the highs and lows. And there is a little pressure building up here. And maybe your stop bot's going to get in here. Your stop bot would be filtered as some type of ATR because your market bot needs to be synced to the RSI. Your market bot's running RSI, but your stop bot needs to be on the 3-period breakout. Because it's going to get in on this trade. If it can perceive more oversold, then you could probably write that. If 3 to 5 bars back, or 2 to 5 bars back, here it's a 2-period entry. 1, 0, 1, 2, well, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. And it's pulling the trigger, and it doesn't take anything 5. Because 5, you're too outside of that burst zone, that immediate continuations, measured moves, so to speak. Like this hesitation here, you could have sold this because it's up, see? It's going up, you're selling. See, within one candle, one thing. And also don't forget the breakout traders and the bears have their trailing buy stops here. They're riding this crush. Then we just come flying out of that fucker. Just like I said in the last video, we're going to fill this fucking hole, dude. And it may be a painful creeper gear ride, and it sure the fuck was. So, but maybe it's drifting. Now maybe it's going to do a creeper gear ride down, or it's going to fucking slam down, or it's going to slam up. I just don't get it. But I guess, I was there. I was a Scientologist once. Don't you understand? You gotta study that 5 times. Dude, it's bad enough you're trading. Think about it. Like I said, the simplest trade plan would to have I would say the ultimate thing is a limit strategy, a stop strategy, and a market strategy. The market strategy is obvious. That involves trading frequency. If your game is to buy counter trend, you're trying to get in a pullback, in an uptrend, you're waiting for the counter trend traders to come in, scalp, pull it back. You've got to be prepared to either stack up buy stops or every hour it's down, you're going to pull the trigger and you're just going to keep building a fucking long position. What the do you have another fucking choice? Well, I mean, I'm just saying that for me. I have no choice. I don't see another choice. Dude, I could look at these indicators all day long. I could use them to say, yeah, okay, I can see that. But I already saw that. Because I can see what's looming, what's attracting the market is this hole. Yes, I could say, well, at the end of the day, maybe I'm adding to the position here. Or I can see, well, that's what those guys are thinking and let it happen. But I don't know if that's what's driving the market, but we know what's driving the market is the pause, right? The hesitation, the inversion. This anomaly is causing that tank because people's coming in. That's kind of divergence. If you make this Williams, let me make it a 2-period. I bet I'll get divergence out of it. So I love to trade and I love to overtrade. So the only thing that saved my overtrading was the scripts. So I can still see. I'm going to go to the 2 periods on both indicators now, because 1 period is going to crash the indicator. So with the no nonsense people, I think another big trick is to make the indicators insane fast too. Okay, then you can really see what's going on here. Of course, you may not get those nice setups. Here, you still got that setup though. Look at that. It didn't destroy this too bad. And I have 2-period RSI now. I'm still seeing divergence though. It did not ruin the indicator. And now it's super sensitive, and now I see my first reversal entry more oversold at a higher price. Okay. Williams is giving me that. Not RSI, because it's about the drama of that move is inside this data. This is 2-period ATR with close, kind of. It's percent. But so is this, because they're both trapped between 0 and 100. I think this can go even lower, or this can go even higher. Yeah, this can go off the charts, can it? Yeah, it's at minus 27. So the problem there is that RSI just flatlines at 99.5. And people say, dude, I'm selling, it's overbought, and I'm blowing up the account. Yes, that is true. Okay, it's going to be noon o'clock here real quick. Precisely 5 hours left. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. Okay, so and the reason why that is because it's stampeding into this hole and it can't see your RSI. And we just got filled on our sell limits. If we put them in the pocket here, which we should have, we are up on the scalps, people. Yes, sir. You are correct, sir. We are up on the scalps. How do we know that? Because we had our orders in here all fucking month long to sell that 10 pip window for the scalp. For the love of Pete, people. I don't want to turn into Alex Jones about the market. But Jesus Christ. So if you sold in this window, look at how much money you made. You made 10 pips at least. Is there a double top on the 5 minute? Yes, sir. Oh my God, how'd you know? Well, what I did was I put a Fibonacci tool in there. Got in here at 618, can't you see? Put my Fib tool here, put it here. 6-1. No, it's about 618 entry. What I did was, let me show you what I did. You see from here to here, I just bought that pullback. And then when it pulled back here to the breakout point, I bought some more. Okay, this 5-minute chart. Did you sell up here? Fuck no, I was afraid it was going to keep going up. Look at this thing. If I was trading this, I just got filled. I know it. I'm buying that pocket, dude. For the easy money. Even got a double bottom divergence here in the hours in the two. I'm using the 2-period Williams. Not Bill Williams, damn it. That was another thing. There's different Williamses? Holy shit, this trading stuff's difficult. I get why No Nonsense talking to 90,000 subscribers like that. What are people on a fucking a baby bottle? Honey, he's making fun of us. Goober traders. Here is a beautiful divergence. Okay, No Nonsense. Check this one out. I'm calling divergence on this. Double bottom. Holy shit. But I think it has something to do with that stop hunt right there. Oh yeah, this one. That entry. And if you know me, I'm buying here all the way in and dumping out on top. 1 hour clean up, sell at the market. Kind of divergence. Divergence in RSI, 2-period, right there, divergence. This is not as high as that. Here comes the buyers. Oh God, we were buy under 80 in an uptrend. Here's a no nonsense. This should appeal to the indicator guys. How about this trade plan? I always thought this was a fucking genius one. If it's in an uptrend, we buy anything below 80 and just keep adding. How'd that work out? Fucking tits. No shit, Sherlock. Set this to a fucking binary switch at 2%. R at 2. Just can't take these people anymore, man. Fucking no nonsense. Look at this beautiful divergence here. I think it's divergence. Let's go see if it is. It's like a failure swing to me. No, they crushed it. Not until here. Triple divergence. That thing curve over. Now here maybe. Once again, you could run trailing sell stops. Here's a algo. Here you got trap. But if RSI is above 20, you start running trailing sell stops. You could do confirmation entry. Plus you got this fucking thing. Here, when we get above that, trailing sell stops, but maybe not because the ATR is too big per bar. That's my filter. ATR is too big per bar. Look at this beautiful entry on the long side, but I would have gone long here already. Here's a reversal in RSI. Guaranteed. It's a guaranteed reversal right there. Very quick and dirty one too. This is the, I think let's see, 0, 1, 2, 2-period reversal. Wow. Blistering. More were sold higher price, and then there you go. You're off to the races. And at this point, once you train your brain on this, what's going to happen is you're going to get all woke about it and say, I think I can take the training wheels off, Daddy. I'm ready to face the bars in the real world of structure and hunch. I'm going to go on a hunch here. Also, I think that it's probably better to just put a fucking trend line in, trade off of that maybe. Oh, here's your closing trend line. Are you buying at the trend line? Is it a good trend trade? Can you trade a channel? Do you need to look at the indicator now? Would you buy and sell in this range? Would you buy and sell the pivot at the pitchfork? Yeah. Could you just trade these vacuum holes back and forth? Yeah. Could you do everything? Could you buy because it's down? You got trailing buy limits, trailing here. I mean, why are you waiting till the end of the day on your indicators that are 20 EMA baselines? Can somebody please explain this fucking thing to me? What do you think, you can live for 1,000 years? Maybe because I'm getting old, I need to make money quicker, but I guess I figured out trading, I guess. There you go. So I figured it out. It's like, can you accept this kind of move as well as this kind of move, regardless of your long-term bias? Can you handle this move as opposed to this move? Okay, that's not working. Let me try this. Let me be very clear about market dynamics. Let's not kid ourselves. Take a look at this chart, for instance. Here's the daily... wow, that's manipulated. We got to go to a currency pair that doesn't involve the dollar. Oh, look at that. I got filled on my cells. Go figure. How did I do that? Tell us the secret of trading. Look at, I put my sell orders up there and they filled them. It's fucking crazy. I'm going to cash out. Watch this. One key cash out. Boom, we're out flat. But what if they go up? Okay. I hope they go up there. They didn't. I think I did get filled on these. I did cash out on that. I'm pretty sure that lasted 8 hours. That's the 1 hour chart, people. That's how you trade it. Now it's a lot of work, man, to save a lot of money. Didn't get filled on my sell limits. I put a grid up there. What is the next tactic? Buy limits. All next week down here, people. So I think I am going to do this thing. I'm trying to get somebody to get on board with me here, but no, I kind of want to do the PAM thing because I don't want to risk a lot of money in that. You know, I don't want to test people's money. But $100, $100 you're in. If you don't like it, you could have your $100 back, so guaranteed fund reversal. At that point, I think we would take 5 to 10%, or maybe we'll do 10%. We take off of that because we need to pay for the order placement hours. But this way, we could trade 28 pairs, and we wouldn't be over trading it. We wouldn't, you know, if you literally are going to scalp at the market, you could destroy an account very quickly. I don't care how much fucking money's in it. If you trade too big at the market, thinking you're some fucking sniper pro. Yes, I get the fact that this was a great place to get in if you babysat this fucking market, but let's face it, I don't want to fucking worry about small tickets. If I'm in really big, I'm not going to be on that time frame. I'm going to be here, and look at this example of we come up into this top, and unless we had our order banks in here before that fact in that 20 pip window on the British pound, which really trades very viciously. Okay, the 5-minute chart, are you really going to tell me that you waited for your indicators? Because if indicators work, right? Maybe divergence here. You sold and you're like, dude, yeah. And then or how about this? You got to sell at the market button with a 10 pip stop. Imagine this. You got 3 buttons. You got a 10, 15, 20 pip stop. They're all 1Ks. Just so you can trade it. This person asked me, they said, I'm losing money. You just need a really crude trade plan. On the 5-minute chart, if you do what I'm talking about, you're going to be in a 40K real quick, even with 1K entries on a 5-minute chart. And maybe on the 5-minute chart, you are running a 50-period moving average, so you don't have to go look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, I got it. That would be your answer to that. But you're still going to have to be aware of this situation, that this top here has become a bottom. That needs to be known. The structure still exists. Just because you're on the 5-minute chart doesn't mean that this top doesn't become a bottom. After they rifle into the new territory and the scalpers pounce on that, because that's the scalper's window, right? They jump into those new highs, come back to the pull. See how much difference between the 5 and the 15? That's 3x. That's 3x. If you're trading a bottom becoming a top on the 5-minute, you got to fucking nail this. You're babysitting this thing back to here and pulling the trigger? Really? Made my 10 pips? Maybe you are. But isn't it easier to put a 100 pip stop in and go to the 4-hour chart and say stuff like, you know what I'm going to do today? No, what are you going to do? Well, you see this, and this may be a Williams fractal even. And if you have to, use the 4-hour chart in the Williams fractal, for your limit entries. So Williams fractal for the limit entries, percent R for your stop entries, ATR for your stop entries, 1 period ATR, range breakout trading. If you're trend trading, you think you know the trend. You can get in counter trend at the market, build a position. You're always going to want to get that deep discount. If it's an uptrend, you're going to want to get it when it's in a pullback. The shallower the pullback, the tighter the stop. Yes, you might get stopped out, but you're trying to make 30 pips with a 10 pip stop. If you're trying to make 20 with a 50 pip stop, you probably got, let's hope, if you bought at the market, you've got limits peppered down that are 30 pips apart that last all week long maybe. Several things in the oven. Several things pending to get filled. Also, if I was really going to do that with a PAM account, and then I would not blow it up. Or if I blew it up, you'd just get your money back. That's all there's to it. But $100, because I see PAM counts at $100, and the ones that are being traded about robots, oof, I don't know. But I think a logical entry, and if somebody in Europe could place drops, or we would just place them, I would just place them on the daily. I'd come in every 8 hours and place them, I guess. But if you wanted to trade, if you wanted to make a percentage of the account, right? And this is like that, that Sean Lucas guy has this honeybee thing. We just call it, we'd call it a cesspool. Right? Our version would, fuck the honeybee, that's too gay. It would be more like cesspool traders or bottom feeders. Those are the limit orders. Bottom feeder fund. Yeah, the limit, and you could have a stop fund. I wouldn't maybe want to commingle them. In other words, the easiest thing to do is to place the orders at the beginning of the week. And if you don't get filled, okay, maybe on top of that, you do come in at the end of the day and go, okay, we're going to build into this plunge. Let's say at the beginning of the week, which this is Sunday night right here, we come in and we place tickets based on this low. And let me see if I can get a Williams to show up here. Come on, Bill. Another thing, Bill's a lot like Cardwell in the sense these guys are from the South and are laid back. These people are like in no hurry to do shit. Okay, I am. And the only thing to slow me down was this fucking swing trading, I mean, I can do the scalp thing. It's a little hypertensive, and you've got to be there for the London Open. You got to wake up and you got to have everything ready to go on deck. But the lazy traders thing is to come in and just be a goof and make money like a fucking goof. Like, I'm not sure if Bill has a high IQ. He did do a lot of research. Maybe if you have a high IQ, it's a problem in trading. So here, his fractal's called out on the 4-hour British pound. And it shows you the past rogue wave, actually. But what if you were to say, on Sunday night, of course, you don't know yet what's going to happen, right? All you know about Sunday night is this low. Well, Sunday night is very quiet. But what if you put a buy limit here? You didn't get filled. Okay, that's when maybe you actually had to put, and this is what I would do because I'm a very aggressive bull all day long. Like it doesn't, like if I was in the British pound and I was going to trade it and we close here on Friday, I'm going to say to myself, you know what? I'm just going to stream orders without regard to structure. I'm just going to come in 10 pips apart all the way down to here all week long. I'm committed to this whole area. And this is like a pari wobble trade, so to speak. Buy limits all the way down, right? Boom, 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 boom. And no fills down here maybe. I wish to heaven, to hell. But see, my wish was fulfilled here. Maybe I had buy limits to here on this one. This is the middle of the week entries. Like I'm not waiting for the end of the day. Okay, I got you. But you know, maybe this is the end of the day up here. And this is always ripe area. And this is not going to show up on your daily baselines, okay? It just doesn't make sense to be that fucking ridiculous. Now, I understand No Nonsense says anything under a 15-minute chart. Yes, that's true. But if you're really sitting there babysitting the market, the 5-minute chart, and you have a tick chart up and you're in really fucking big, you can make money, right? Here you would have sold, like on this 5-minute British pound right now, maybe you just sold here really big at this bottom, become a top structure, trend continuation. I think we're going to close down. You're going to cash out. By the end of the day, you still got 4 hours left. I'm going to get in here for one last gust down here. I'm in really big, boom, I'm out. I get the feeling No Nonsense is in on the daily. He's holding for 20 days. Some guy posted to me a winning trade. I think he was in the market for 20 days. Now, on the 4-hour chart, I mean, if you think about it, here's Sunday night. If you tell yourself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy low. I'm going to fucking put orders in 10 pips apart. I'm going to risk $100 or $1,000 or whatever, $200. I'm going to buy 1Ks all the way down to here with a master stop down here and just fuck it. Or how about a soft master? Soft master stop. Would be nice. I buy this column with my stops in a 20 pip range, and miraculously I don't get stopped out. But I don't actually get filled in this last ticket either, don't forget. So I've been a little too conservative. But that's okay. Let not your impatience be troubled. I'm also running my buy stop goober entry plan, and I put in bigger tickets when the volatility dries up. Here, not so much. I'm like, yeah, but this is kind of a trap, and there's my first trap. Actually, after the first trap is like wave 4. This is the last wave because it's a trap. A little bit of a stop hunt, and then, so you can always tell. Now, here's the stop hunt for the bulls. After we confirm, we come back, the top becomes a bottom here. It's happening in a pip range that's different than this kind of retest to here. Or this pullback is way more brutal, right? And dramatic. This one invades this area. But on the 4-hour, fading the Williams 4-hour fractals, I guess that's what we call this strategy, with limit orders, we could pay attention to the market orders too. I think it's going up. I'm only buying pullbacks, so I bought this pullback, this pullback, this pullback, this pullback, and this pullback. I'm in 5K. I do not buy that. I don't chase that. Fuck that shit. I've got maybe sell limits above here, and I make the capture play here. It's like the castle move. Right after we blow off that top and come back, the market's, queenside castle, big long leap. Here, this is the structure, guys. This is the floor. They come in there. But for the most part, the market's dicking around and ranging. Nobody's really making any money. quickly or losing quickly, which is always solace to the people that are on the wrong side of the market when they're slowly losing money. And they're like, you know what? I'm managing my risk. But we all get to some point of comfort with how much we are willing to be underwater out of the gate till we can make up the spread, make up the commissions, make up our first thing. And that gives us the adrenaline, or this is what would keep you in the game, even from an ego standpoint of I'm right. If I got the money's a whole nother issue because people have issues about money. Oh, that's too expensive. Well, certainly the Les Paul guitar is overpriced, right? I think we discovered that. Especially when they went with all this Hollywood lighting and did this. I almost thought it was a Saturday Night Live skit, the Gibson guitar debacle. If you looked at, just for kicks, I don't know if you're in guitars, but if you look up Going Authentic or Playing Authentic. How about Trading Naked? Jamming Authentic. How about being honest with your fucking quality control? So there's been some funny shit people have done about that. They had one where this guy who's a big guitar guy, had one about Dean Guitars, who they're suing the day after that video. Talking about change the whole commercial to, if you copy Dean Guitars, we're coming after you. You knew that was coming. This is a lot of pips, man. Getting filled in a 10 pip window here to make how much in 2 hours? That is a brilliant trade. Also, buying the very last 3 pip stop hunt of the Williams Fractal here. And low volatility breakout traders are trading that, and they're filling that vacuum, and it's mission accomplished. Once they've accomplished the mission of clearing out this big fucking hole, what could possibly happen? You trip into this, trapped in that one, coming back here, baby. Gotta come after this. So it's like it's a wrecking crew. That's why No Nonsense think it's being manipulated, because it's just not giving him enough filtered goober signals. We could have also loaded the fucking wagon here and bought every pullback, added, dumped the whole thing, and that's what I did on the dollar yen. Same pattern, same thing, same drama. Especially when you see these things. This is the floor. Sellers come in. They take it back. Can't get it. Got to go up and test this floor. Trapped him there. Trapped him there. Trapped him again. Oh, geez, I'm getting whipsawed. I know every time I get in on confirmation when it's up, I'm getting killed. I'm buying this. I'm selling that. I'm buying that. Yeah, because you're bucking the wave, dude. It's like sex when you're out of sync with your partner. You could do some damage. Hey, blow up the fucking account. You smash your nuts. Are you retarded? Here's one of these like Gartley things. Look at this. I'm getting it here because it's a Gartley. I guess it is more complicated than I thought, but if you have the balls to place your limits in beyond the Williams Fractal, that's what I should start naming these strategies. What's that strategy called, son? I call it Beyond the Williams Fractal Entries. Would you explain that to me, would you? Well, on the daily, it's like this. You want to go up to your indicators list and break out the Bill Williams. This is not the other Williams. Go to Fractals. And there you go. That's as simple as that. Now, it doesn't always work. I forgot the disclaimer. You're going to look for like this guy here. See that? Now, that is written in stone. That cannot be rewritten. The problem with the Williams Fractals, it's probably forming right now. It's trying to get one in here, but I'm going to assume it's putting one in here right now. I'm going to assume that. I'm also going to assume right now in the daily pound New Zealand, which moves quite heftily, like a big heifer, big nasty spread on this thing. So this thing makes up for it in pips. Got to run 50 pip stops on this puppy. I think we all have bought, anybody with half a brain bought this window on something, for God's sakes, just for the kicks. And they probably really loaded up here, and that would be me. And here, maybe got stopped out. But yeah, that's my window. That's what the yen just went through this thing. If it's tanking, call me. Now, we did have a dead cat bounce entry here. If we bought this, you can't see it on the daily. So just slice through it. I gotta slice through that thing. On the 4 hour, it's a brilliant trade because we get in here. We're able to make 30, 20, 40 pips. And I would not, so here I would have bought this also. On the 4 hour fractal, you're going to risk more. That eventually became break even. So what I call it, the Williams outer limits Williams entry, you're going to get in everything below, I call it the Williams crusher. The fractal crusher, version 28. So, what else? Doesn't always work. Did I say that? Well, it doesn't always fill either. Don't forget. Look at this disappointment. El no fillo. I'm running trailing biolimits. Now, if they last all day, okay. Here, I think we did get filled here on the sell side. But only a 10 pip. It's not the big, and I probably had sell limits up here. So if I'm going to overshoot for what I think could happen, you know, also no fill here. So on the 1 hour, I'm sure it looks amazing on the 1 hour. And you're going to fade it on the 1 hour. You're going to have a higher frequency of trade, a higher hit rate. But then you got a more babysitting to do. And if you go to 28 pairs, maybe you're going to blow your brains out. So the no nonsense. This is to the Forex Hangout guy. So imagine you're going to trade. So you had the fractals up. So I'm using this as a fade the fractal theory too here. If I put my buy limit at this considered to be continuation breakout point on the 5 minute, I would fade the fractal and I would get in here on the limit and I would ride it up. Just like I would fade the fractal here where this is not a confirmation breakout, it's a trap. So that would be the way to do that. Like I would just zoom this out and I could just mentally back test that I think pretty quickly. I'd say, well, yeah, I mean, I can see all the confirmation guys got their sell stops here and they're probably going to get trapped. Here we would not get filled on the sell limits. We wouldn't get filled because we never made a higher fractal. If I took a strict approach to the rule set, here would be my only fill is to capture these confirmation guys for a pullback, but then I would have to go along with the same theory. I'm going along on the trap of this fractal, right? The capture of this fractal. Because we are isolating and we are under trading the 5 minute chart now because we're using the Williams fractals as our kind of trade against the goobers a little bit. But then again, it is true that when the market does go hyperfractal, stacking fractals like this, like a lot, and the fractals are forming a triangle, yeah, it's kind of breaking out, and then it does really kind of, but here is the flag. It's also showing us the flag, which if we were buying the trap if we were building a position on the fake breakouts, then we ride it north, we dump everything. As they trap the confirmationists, if we go to different time frames with that Williams, it'll jump, and we can see how it comports to the next time frame. And we get less signals and less traps. The half-hour trap trader, so to speak, is going to be, okay, I'm just going to gobble this shit up. Like, I know this is kind of but it works. In other words, for every one of these fractals, I put a ticket in. So here I got 5K pending in this window or below. or I scooch them down based on each fractal showing up deeper, which is ultimately a way to go because you would have got filled here and you would martingale in, you would not get filled on this fractal. You would also martingale in this slot because maybe to the left of us, but there's nothing to the left of us. We are in fucking no man's land, but it doesn't matter because momentum's punched in there. That's the new lows. Sure, we could keep tanking after we filled this top, right, this window, into this. So it's actually a Williams fractal, the fractal here. If you wanted to just give you a nice, clean, dumb shit, just stupid obvious, you don't have to explain it to people. You could, I mean, if you were trying to show your 10-year-old kid how to trade, you see that triangle? See that spaceship? If that spaceship is 10 bars back, at that point you could do a 10, 20 bar back, anywhere from 10 to 20 bars back. Put a sell order above that. Put a buy order below that. And I guarantee you, your 10-year-old kid will outtrade you because he doesn't fucking have any mental damage from selling into a vacuum and getting his nuts sheared off and stuffed down his throat. He doesn't have that experience. But if you have, and this pound New Zealand, by the way, this thing moves brutally. Moves like 10 pips just looking at it because the spread's so fucking wide. So, if you want to get your feet wet, put $1,000 in a demo account. However you think you can do it, at some point you have to step up to the plate and risk real money. At that point, I would break out the $10 drops and say, I can handle $10 of risk. They have a store here called Five and Below. Because the dollar store is like, there's inflation coming, people. And the Five Below store is like, it's a little bit better than the dollar store by 5x. So, hey, you know, they just had a grand opening. So the Five Below store puts in these little baby flags that are about, like those pink flamingos. They think they're like about 2 feet high. There's 100 of these motherfuckers stacked up in an array. As you drive by, it lasts for like 1,000 feet. And you're like, I got it, dude. You're open now. And then they were all gone. I don't know if it was like they just literally spammed it like I did in New York where you have these posters that are just like, I thought that was cool in New York. Like, we got plywood on our scaffolding, so what we're going to do is use this opportunity to go fucking nuts with a poster and treat it like wallpaper, like Andy Warhol version. I think that's where Andy Warhol got his idea. He stole it from the fucking plywood, the posters in New York that cover the plywood scaffolding. Obvious copyright infringement there. But he's dead. We can't chase him down. Oh well. We'll sue his estate. I got it. How poor are people? Just learn how to trade the market. Oh, it's too risky. I know. It's so risky. Come here. Oh, it's so risky for you. Let me try to say. I want to look at Boeing. See, sellers came in at that doji. I think we should have scalped out. Looks like people are buying that dollar up. I don't think this is going to last underneath this price. The scalpers have had their fun in this window. Came back, they're out. I think I might have traded this, I'm not sure, but I know I put my tickets in. I don't know if I got them in on time. I don't know if these orders lasted long enough, but my heart was in the right place. Dollar CAD. If those lasted long enough, we could have pulled at least 10 pips, 20, 30 pips out of this plunge. So I laid them in pretty thick there. I think there were those are 8-hour pip grids, I think so. Yeah, you got to be careful. So, it's very impressive to flip an account like Samurai Trader, but I don't think you can do that with a PAM account or a MAM account or a DAM account. I don't think you can do it like it. I don't think that would be good. It wouldn't. It would bad optics, as they say. People are like, dude, and I don't know. You really see. You have to really do that at a place that'll let you have multiple tickets. That's the kind of problem. I noticed the no nonsense guy was afraid to comment on anything. He's so afraid that people got a gun to his head. Yeah, I can understand that. They raid places. Hell, they were just in here the other day going, "We saw you drop that script." And I go, "Who are you guys?" They go, "Well, you didn't watch the Big Banks video?" Holy shit. Like, can I call my... Can I take the fifth on that? Look at the 1 hour bounce house. Look at that shit. That's market manipulation, son. Can't you see? At the end of the hour, look at... Oh, I know they trapped me. I was on the 4 hour looking for this breakout. I got in real heavy. Jet said if that goes up, we should buy. And I said, well, why is that? He said, no nonsense says if it goes up, it's confirmation it's going to keep going up. So I got in there real heavy style. Really? I put a 20 pip stop on. I thought that'd be enough. Shit, I put my stop at the low of the day. They'll never take out that low of the day. What do you mean buy low? But it's okay. I told them okay, so what happened was we bought this and he says to me, dude, we're right about the trade. It's going down. Sell more. Or no, sell, right? We're wrong. It's going down. Sell. I thought it was going up. Think about the poor goober getting whipsawed. He buys. He buys. He buys. I only buy if I got confirmation it's going up, How's that working for you? Okay, I guess, because we sell when it's going down, too. Now, that would be okay, right? At least he's limiting his losses. I still want to do this. I want to take the MACD this weekend, or take the moving average crossover system and write a few crude robots. I mean, really crude shit, but a fixed pip stop, okay? And only let that trade during certain market hours. Well, and I kind of know the volatility is going to be increased. So this way, I don't have to put an ATR filter on it. So I would need a team of those bots, and maybe you could have a sloppy PAM account that's kind of making money. But I think I could make way more money if I semi-automated trade it. I've got my order banks, and I know where to place the orders because I can see the left side of the chart 20 candles back. Look left because prices matter. It's not look left, market leaves clues, market leaves prices. They're not clues. It's fucking way more painfully obvious than a clue. It's like somebody smashing you in the face. Look at this thing. Here's a gold mine. For all this year, I'm buying this area. Duh. I'm long right now. I would buy into this. Why? It's a deep old price. And I'm going to martingale in here. Now, I would do that with a PAM account with the proper entry layering. We would have scalps built in. We'd make our 50s or 20s or 100 targets. We would do a rinse and repeat also in that account. Because you can see this instance here on the monthlies. And I would trade, I don't even know, at 28 pairs, okay, I could do 16 pairs, but I'd run monthly charts and I'd literally be getting filled right now on this thing for the swing. And here I would have got filled in a 50 pip window. That is a nice trade. That is a reversal entry. How can you miss that? If you really think you're trying to reduce risk, why aren't you selling this top? Why aren't you selling when it's really up hard at the market or really down hard at the market? Why? Well, because I have a baseline. You heard of a baseline, haven't you? No, explain it to me. Who's been telling? It'd be funny if my kid. This is really funny. I don't have any kids, but if I did. My 20-year-old comes home, and he's been trading Forex with me, and we're millionaires. And he comes home from Johnny's house, or he's 10 years old, because it'd be too sophisticated at 20. But at 10 years old, he comes home. Well, Johnny's dad's using Ikemusha Cloud, and he's got a Ferrari. Son, move in with him. The fuck out of here. We're mafia traders, son. This is called Bottom Feeder Fund. BFF. That's what I'm going to call my PAM account. Why does he call it the BFF Fund? Son, do I got to explain everything to you? But can you imagine? And then we would just have... Here's another thing we could do. We could have a PAM account that's pure charity. Find your favorite charity, and you could have something like that. Here's what we do. We have a charity to give away. You know those fans that go on top of your head and those beer things that go on top of your head with the straws coming down? We give away those on the Mexican border. But with our logo on it, of course, right? It's going to be... We'll put Gibson logos on there. Instead of being a book, the open book at the top of the headstock, we'll go with crumpled paper. But the rest of it will be identical. I know those chicks had those vagina hats, didn't they? We need some swag, some hats. I fade fractals. I'm with the guy that... instead of I'm with him, I'm with the guy that fades fractals. I don't know, it's funny because, at a certain point, if you made enough money, really, what are you trying to buy? With all the money you're going to make at Forex. So the Ryan Brown video is fascinating because he had a purpose for the money, he was able to make money manually. Well, that's the secret, because if you're just making money to make money, then you could just blow up the account just as well, because when I was making gobs of money, I would trade without stops, and if the account blew up, I'd just say I lost $200. That account was at $5,000, mind you. But I just didn't care. And that's probably not, but yeah, with that amount of leverage, with just saying, I'm just going to go for this trade, and that was literally no scripts. That was literally manual trading, like boom. I don't even think I got in a limit. Every trade was a market order, and I would just scale in this shit and be like, oh, it's going down, is it? Fuck them. I just anger swing trade into this shit and just make gobs of money. And then I saw the scripts, and then I started to lose more money than I'd ever lost because I wrote scripts that were so outrageous. And then I said, you know what? You cannot do that. Just because you think you wrote trade plans now, you can't just fucking drop this shit like an idiot. Like a complete fucking moron. You have to accept there are people scalping around you. Do you want to be one of them? You need to step back and say, there's a 100 or a 50 pip window here that is unfucking believable. If we ever make it to that window, it's just going to be, it might take us 30 hours or 3 hours or 3 minutes. That is going to be the highest probability money-making trade. Am I willing to place pendings in there and not take the glory for pulling the trigger and killing the the wild animal is it's running, say, right? So if you're a hunter, are you really ethical hunting if you lay traps for deer? No. But if you go out there with your bow and arrow and you've tweaked it out and you put your MACD on your bow and arrow, you have Fibonacci bow and arrow system, and you're using a Nautilus cam on your the Nautilus shell cam instead of the symmetrical compound bow cam, you somehow feel better. And even if you don't kill anything, okay, well, you're loving life. I got it. I'm not fucking retarded. I'm just saying, when I saw the spike when the spike blew up my account, I said, I wonder if I could have got in on that spike. And sure enough, I could. Because I put orders down here thinking, they'll never come down. This monthly chart, by the way, they'll never come down here. We're never going to retest that. We are going up, up and away in our beautiful balloon. And why would I make that mistake? Because I know nonsense in. I bought in confirmation we're going up. I wouldn't buy this pullback. I got in. We went up. I'm like, I love this trade. I'm going to move my stop from here to here. I got stopped out. I didn't lose too much. And thank God for my money management. Which is like, thank God for wearing condoms. But dude, you're banging the wrong person to begin with. So, if it does break, then hopefully you're not going to have some butt ugly kid, right? Let's try to match the pretty people up together, for God's sakes. I guess we do have to. I don't know. Two pretty people do. Let's face it, their kids look good. I don't know what that says, but it does say that. It is true. And currency pairs, same thing. Getting in the right currency pair, the right gene pool at the right time. Right before they start inbreeding, let's just say we want to get in when, maybe there is some chaos, which is what's making people look less inbred. Chaos is our friend, people. This EuroCAD monthly perspective really dials it in for me to say, no, I'm going to buy here. I don't need RSI. I don't even need Williams. Fuck Bill. No, you first. But that's what conclusion I came to, and I'm just saying, it's 61 years old, that I thought I've seen it all. I've seen some other charts at that whale club, this crypto thing. I thought, I never saw that chart. Okay, you got me there. But point and figure, I'm waiting for no nonsense to make it to point and figure. To, what else has he left out? He did the Shanken channel. He does that. That's part of his algorithm. Don't you get it? Aren't you woke about indicators yet? Not really. Not so much, as the kids used to say, 30 years ago. Not so much. Oil looks like it's screaming back. How is the stock market doing? We are going to break out and keep breaking out, people. I think the scalpers have had their fun on the weeklies. Oh, it looks like Trump's going to win according to this chart. Oh boy. Mueller goes into the... I think I'm just literally going to have a party when Mueller speaks on July 17th. I'm going to have one of those drinking parties where it's like every time he says something, I think that could be alcohol poisoning, because what dumb shit could he possibly keep repeating? And then you have, what does that guy say? I subscribe to Red Pill, number 78. I think he's a young guy. Look at this nice stop hunt on the Dow. That's Trump derangement syndrome. I call it indicator derangement syndrome. Liberals to me are like people that trade with indicators. I guess in a way, it's a little bit of that denying reality. Look at this beautiful structure entry on the daily. Beautiful. Top becomes a bottom in time. We even get a lack of volatility. We get a triangle. Triangle is very tight. Boom. And boom. Kind of a flag triangle. Actually, I got to scooch that up. I've got this set to the wrong pixel. Make sure this is set right. The stickiness of I want this 0 pixels. I want it to be like pixel to pixel here. Come here, you. Okay. There's the triangle. It's very tight. Kind of hard to see, but let me stretch it out. It's easier to see that way. Okay, so stocks. So it's this formation here. Very tight triangle, very small, very. Here's your double top. Sellers came in on the failure swing. I'm sure that was divergence of some type on something. And here, without looking at percent R, I think we can see what that trade was, where it pulls back a little bit. I'm sure percent R gave us a buy there. After a while, you would just know what percent R is doing. So if I insert Williams percent R2, I had it set. It's going to pick up the last known. Wrong Williams. Tab Nabbit Luke. Williams percent R. I got it set to 2. I bet it pulls back there and gives us an entry. So it does. It's pulling back. Time to get on long train. And you pull the trigger there at the end of the day because you're down. And you would have got trapped a little bit here buying at the end of the day. The market's maybe too up for you. Way too up. And then a serious divergence at the top of this. That double top. This is already going down against it. So I hope that helps. That's my update. Here was the sell on the 4-hour. Fade the fractal entry. Sell limits above this fractal, above this one, but no fill. Just filled here. And we're making all this money in 4 hours as we come ripping back. And I'm going to ride the storm out into the close on dollar yen. Should be going up now. It is now 4 hours to close, and we should see a panic move as the dollar yen goes into my take profits for the final assault of wave 4. Okay, an hour and 40 minutes. I hope that explains what I'm thinking. What I've had thought, and I still have to think about it because I would like to do that because there are people I know that don't want to. Like, I can probably get this one girl I know to put $100 in there, and I'd just give her the $100. I know I could trust her. I'll give her $100, and I go, you know what? You can keep this $100, and this is what my parents would do to me. Or you can invest it. You can take this and go out and buy some more heroin, or you can invest it. If I had any kids, though, I would give them that choice every week. Do you want me to beat you with a spoon so you can trade Forex? Or would you like to just have the money and go and get some more heroin so when I beat you, you'll feel less? I made that joke one time and some guy claimed he was going to report me. I guess you got to be careful. Not everybody has a sense of humor. Look at that beautiful sell there. You just got filled on. I should actually go flat on this, and I will. So that's my sell window. I'm getting out. Cashing out in the seller's window. Let me take a look at my stats. I'm going to wait for my stats to update here. That's how fast I can get out. One button, cashing out of only this one symbol, though. I'm in the seller's window. It's the top of the hour, and I just don't feel like sitting here for this bullshit. This is where I should be getting out. I'm getting out where the sellers are getting in. The scalper sellers. So it can keep going up, but I want to go flat into the weekend. Okay, I'm using $2 a margin. There you go, boom. So simple as that. I'm underwater on this one ticket. I'm up 3 cents. I'm getting out. I'm flat. Now, what I can also do is I can place orders that last a week now. And when I come into Sunday morning, here's a trick that the brokers don't want you to know. I think this is a cool strategy if you like to live on the edge. Write a script that lasts an hour. Place them now in this window. And when Sunday night opens, if we gap into this thing, you'll already be selling while you're out getting your next hooker and your next Ferrari. I might do this with a demo, but I didn't write a weekly script and it's Friday and I'm fucked. So if I don't drop that script on Friday that lasts all week, that takes me into Sunday. And I've done that trade with static orders that don't expire, and it's like magic. You're like, I knew I was going to sell it there. But I'm talking about layering in. I just got out of like, I don't know how many K here, 100K, 300K. I was in $1,000 of margin at 500 to 1 leverage. So, and I'm almost tripled the account. I start with $5,000. I'm at 18,000. I want to look at the stats here. Okay, here we are. This is the final tally. I bet I'm only right. Let me try to guess how I did. I think I'm right about 69% of the time, because in the end there I did run very tight stops, 5 pip stops in the guppy, which really not the best orders to do the guppy. I traded the guppy, I traded the yen, a little bit of CAD. I'm trying to get a balanced diet going here. I think I've been trading 8 days or 6 days. Okay, I'm up 274%. I'm a weekly return of 100%. Peak drawdowns 26%. That's a big drawdown. Look at my trade win is actually the Fibonacci number. Go figure. I said 69, but I'll take the Fibonacci as a winning rate. What does that tell you? What am I? My buddy who's out of his mind, my couch surfer friend, said, what am I, psychic? I'm going to post that as the name of the video. Trade win rate, 6.18. Read it and weep. And to hold that locked in stone, 11 days of trading, what I could do is delete all pendings and just archive the account. There you go. That's what we do here. 13% euro, 68% yen. Touch of CAD, touch of guppy. A little sliver of New Zealand. It's not a very big country. Risk of ruin went down to 18%. We were pushing like 50% there for a little bit. Worst day, down 2,500 now. I remember that. I remember that day. Son, that's when I was kicking a dog. Somebody said, I want to see you trade real money. Why? You want to see me kick my dog? You enjoy that? What do you got fucking, what's it called? Schadenfreude syndrome? Anyways, that's the stats. That's it. Well, there's the stats. I'm sorry. That was a statement. So we've made enough money. So if we could keep going like this, and now I'd cut the account back and not risk as much. If we make $1,000 a week, which apparently we're making, we could do better. We could do better trades, I'm sure. And if it's real money, maybe a little more careful. But yeah, we start with, I think, I did to build the account up to 1,000 to get it safe enough. So if people at 100, we have 1,100 to play with. And as long as there's 1,000 in there, I think we can keep the account alive. So this one started with $5,000. We took a $3,000 drawdown after we made our initial $10,000. But getting out of the gate, so if we can get the account to $2,000, then maybe we get a little bit more risk, but never like the beginning amounts. So as you go up in the account size, instead of risking, okay, so you're actually going to cut down your percentage of risk to match the dollar amount of risk. So if you're always risking $1,000 a week and the account's grown to $50,000, okay, maybe you're going to risk $1,500 a week. But there's no way that you want to come in and start saying we're risking a strict 5%, because when the drawdown comes from your insane order placement or your same stupid ass indicator systems are going to just get beat to shit and whipsawed. You need to have some type of trading plan that's not going to be so fucking like idiot gauge based, right? Where you're looking at your dashboard and you're like, okay, well then, it says my oil's it's hot. Yeah, but dude, you haven't checked the oil in like 5 years. I mean, did you really think there was not going to be some alert come up? Like if you need the account to flash red, but then, I don't know, right? So I don't have those I don't have the weekly orders written. It'd be cool to drop them right now. I know where I'd put them. Just anything above here. So I don't have to fucking be here for the goddamn open, which I am too curious to. I usually try to show up on the Sunday night open. But here's same story. I'm dropping limits right now into the weekend here. Not too many tickets, but just to get picked up on stuff that I don't want to have to worry about. 100 starting at 50 pips above. Put some sell limits in there. Just get used to the idea of selling high. Plus it'll actually cue your brain to go, you know what? I think I could see myself selling up there. And you can still delete the orders. Just because you put the pendings in doesn't mean you can't retract them. You could never do this with a real broker. If you called your broker every hour and said, I want to cancel and replace the limit, they go, dude, you've got to find a new broker. That's why I always traded to the market with these brokers that I really did feel bad for them not getting their money. But here, most people hate their online broker, supposedly. And you could just be like, dude, I'm just going to put order. I don't have to talk to nobody about this trade. It's just between me and my algorithm. How gay. My gay algorithm. Look at the guppies storming north here. We could have bought a little bit here at the close of the day, I think. We could have. We didn't. So these will expire tomorrow or tonight. You'll watch these expire. It's kind of cool. Because none of these last for a week. I don't think I have a weekly pending in here. Anyways, hour and 57 minutes. That's my story I'm sticking to.